Round number 7 of the 100 Racing Championship in the P1 tier has begun, and we head to the Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's going to start off quite wet in Bahrain, but hopefully it's going to not last very long. I'm Jess Bourne. Joining me once again, we've got Jamie. How are you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing very good, yeah. Looking forward. This should be a good race.
Yeah, 14 drivers though early this evening, but I'm sure we're going to have some action nonetheless, as we've got 11 minutes and 20 to go, and we've had 6 drivers that are set some lap times. But a few information about this track. It's the Kia International Circuit, first built in 1999. It first hosted the Formula 1 Grand Prix back in 2004. That's where we saw Michael Schumacher took the win, making it a Ferrari 1-2 with his teammate Rubens Barrichello. We all know what happened in that race. It was quite a fun race to watch there as well. It's become quite a study hold in the F1 calendar, but there were a few times where it got cancelled. But it stepped up to host 2020, believe it or not. Of course, it didn't host real life this year due to obviously what's going on in the world. Not going to mention what, but obviously we're racing now here in 100 Racing because we can't not stop it. So we should be about to get underway shortly with 10 minutes of qualifying. We said we would get going with qualifying, but 2 weeks ago we saw Alex took the race victory. He's here tonight. He's got a very good chance to close up the gap in the championship. Same with Marco, because one thing that I told you all in the talk show, but you may not have heard the talk show, Kevin, our championship leader, is not here tonight. So chances for people like Marco and Alex and Lakitu to close the gap up in the championship.
Yeah, you got to take advantage here. You've got to win the race or at least get a podium. You cannot afford to let this opportunity slip. And this is a golden opportunity. And obviously, if they win the race, then if he wins the race, he can take championship lead tonight. So that has got to be the huge opportunity he has to take. And yeah, if not, then I think Kevin will be smiling if they don't take advantage of this golden opportunity.
Yeah, and quite a lot of people are taking carway penalties as well in this tier. I think that was about 10 and we only got 14 drivers, so pretty much most of the grid are taking penalties. So if you haven't got a penalty, I would expect those drivers to do very well. It's interestingly that the rain is still here, because in all the other tiers it's pretty much stayed dry for this last session, but it shows that the weather is set to approximate. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the same every session. I've never expected for it to be that wet.
No, Morgan's actually still out on the full wet tyre, which is very unusual, but judging by his race turn 1, it's not the optimal tyre at the moment. Judging by his lap time, it isn't either, but yeah, it's very wet, and that means you probably only get one run on the slick tyres at the end, because by now the track should have dried up by now. I think the rain has abated, but it still is raining, so yeah, it still is in conditions. Normally in the other 3 tiers we're out on slicks at this point, so this is very unusual.
Very unusual, but it shows just don't listen to the other tiers, because it might be wrong. It might be wrong. But we have got Mert on pole position with a 140.1. Getting there with his performance recently, but Senna has just come fastest with a 140.0. Still quite intermediate conditions right now in terms of these drivers, but the track times are getting quicker, so the more time people are on laps, the better. I think the ones who are hoping it will dry up quick enough, as Craggy's at a moment, and he's just about avoided the wall there, going on the exit of turn 15, and he dives it, I think, straight to the pits, understandably. Him and Marco not set a lap yet, and last time we came here, I think it was season 26, we saw Craggy take the race win, so for him to not set a lap time yet, quite surprising.
Yeah, very surprising. Yeah, obviously, a guy that definitely should be one of the favourites tonight. And yeah, it's a bit disappointing for him there, but it shouldn't cost him too much though, because he should get a slick one at the end. But it's nice to have some sort of lap time board anyway. It's a bit of a reference point, but still spray being kicked up in these cars. This is very peculiar this session, and then it still looks like raining, so we may not even get to dry conditions. I'm quite surprised by this. It's very, very peculiar.
Yeah, and it's meant to be clear in 10 minutes, so it may not dry up at all. And that's similar to what we saw in, what was it, Japan, where it was like that as well. As Marco goes P1 at the moment with a 1:37.8, so he is fastest right now. So I'm guessing, what would you do in this situation? Because obviously you can't rely on the other tiers now. Would you just wait until it dries up? But you
Well, you
can't
gotta
guarantee
wait
it dries
till-
up.
Got to wait till as late as possible, so maybe like 3 minutes, and then I think after 3 minutes come, you have to make a judgment call then what's best. But the track does look drier than it did, but it's still raining, so I think we'll get to dry conditions, but it's very, very difficult. Yeah, it may get dry conditions, but would it be dry enough for a dry tyre? That is the problem, because if the track's still damp, then you're not going to get the grip. As a Craggy seems going full on drift coming out the pit, so he really is struggling on these intermediate tyres. As Marco, as Arnaud gets second place there, so the lap times are dropping. So we are getting closer to the cup, and we're still at the moment nowhere near it because it's still raining in the pit lane. So yeah, this is. The drivers will be quite disappointed by this because you want to have a dry quality, and if it's a wet quality, then it's going to make this grid a very, very peculiar.
P1 has been very weird. P1 has been very weird in terms of weather, hasn't it? Because we were hoping to have rain at the end of the race like all the other tiers, and guess what? It hardly rained at all. So I think P1 seems to get very unlucky in terms of the weather, to be honest. And speaking of Arnaud, it's his birthday today, and he's racing, so fair play to him, and hopefully he could end up getting a good result tonight on his birthday, because wouldn't that be good? He does like this track at the end of the day, so we'll see where he can climb up through the rest of this. We've got 5 minutes to go. We have Mert, who's just finished a lap time. He just come across the line in P4. Alex, our winner from last week. Let's see how he does. He's, I think, invalidated. Yes, he has. So he's going to dive it in into the pit lane. Not much improvements from a lot of our drivers. We'll watch Craggy, actually, as he enters turn 1. Let's take you on board a hot lap. He tries to flip the car, and look at that. He's just spinning all over the show. He's just not liking this circuit in the wet. But to be fair, there's not many wet setups in Bahrain, but you can get them on sim racing setups. But the only time that you would run wet in Bahrain is if we set it to custom, which we already have. So, yeah. Craggy, you can tell he is struggling.
Yeah, it rains only a handful of days a year in this desert, and obviously, well, it does rain in the desert. It does absolutely pour down, but we've not seen it in the official F1 session yet. And yeah, so it just shows the dynamic weather setting. I think there's about a 0.05% chance of it happening in a dynamic session. So yeah, it's very rare to happen. And yeah, Craggy just seems to be going for the. He seems to be driving on ice rather than wet at the moment. He's just drifting through every single corner. Whether he's doing this for show, I wonder, because he doesn't seem to have any grip whatsoever. As Colin's coming out on the intermediate tyres, so he's committed intermediates to the end. So he thinks they're going to dry up, and judging by this, I don't think it is, because it's still raining. So we are going to get a wet grid, which may shake the grid up a little bit if we get a wet quali. A wet end of quali, which looks very, very likely. As we had a mixed up quali last week, we're going to have 2 in a row.
And we're going to get a mixed up qualifying as it is, Jamie, due to all the engine and gearbox penalties anyway. So it's probably going to be the mixed up quali that we've seen in all of One Hub Racing so far this season. So grab your popcorn, because probably the predictions that me and Colin made about this tier has gone right out of the window, because probably none of ours would have done well. So 3 minutes and 70 to go. I do believe, I'm just trying to see if it's stopped raining. It has stopped raining. Yeah. But the question is it going to dry enough for slick, or would it be similar to what we saw in Japan last week? We're going to have to wait and see. There's going to be people that are going to be bold and brave and try the slick tyres, but it is going to be hard to see who's going to do well. So we'll watch Colin make his way through. He's going to be fastest for now, but you never know what could happen here. Dave is on set the intermediates as well. You've got to go out, I think, within 2 minutes 30 in Bahrain on these conditions, because it's not going to be faster than what we saw. And I just see one of the Red Bulls has just come out. That is Clark. He's gone on for a set of inters, so he is not gambling for a set of the soft tyres.
No, I think it's going to be very tight. I think it's going to be very difficult. The track, it's set to clear, so in theory the track should drive quicker. And obviously under these floodlights, you should get a lot of lights on the track. As a Clark, as a layering moment there coming out of turn 4. I say at the moment, I think it's not good for either tyre. So at the moment, it's that awkward period where it's not good for either tyre. You will set a quicker time, of course, you would earlier on, but neither tyre is going to give it great grip at the moment. As you've got Senna has come out on a set of slicks, and so has Lakitu and Clark on a set of inters, so we've got a change gone Casper. All the guys come out later have come out a set of slick tyres, so obviously we will know when it gets slick, when that DRS sales sign comes up, but I think you will be quicker. Come the end of quality, if you get timing right, I think you'll be quicker on them soft tyres, but it's about getting the timing right. You want to make sure you cross the line with just a few seconds left, so it may be a bit congested for all these guys on the outlaps. Got to be careful, guys, on fly ups as well, not to get in their way.
Let's get the track map up to see. We got a massive traffic cap going up towards turn 5 and 6 now, and DRS is enabled. So for ones on the inters, they're probably regretted them being on the inters right now, but the ones on soft, they're probably going to be loving life. But one of our bigger contenders that have probably gambled wrong is Marco. He's on the intermediate tyres, but Colin goes on, does a 1:37.222. So that's the time to beat right now, but the track is ramping up quite quickly every second. All drivers now have one shot on these slicks to get it right. If you do not get it right and invalidate, then that's it. You'll be starting near the back of the grid with 45 seconds remaining. We've got drivers that have just started, including Dave, as he makes his way towards the final corner now. Flicks the car into 5th, 6th, 7th, and is it going to be faster than Colin R. Mason? The answer to that is no, it's not.
No.
That will be it done, unless he's going to go on for a push lap. Once again, we do have one of the Mercedes of Senna, who's going to be the first one of the slick runners to cross the line. It's going to be probably about who out of the ones near the back is going to be crossing the line last, I would say. Who's going to be the last to cross the checkered flag? No, cross the line before the checkered flag falls. That's going to be the important thing. The Senna makes his way towards turn 1. What's happened, Jamie?
So yeah, Arnaud was trying to overtake the Williams there, trying to get to the line because they might run out of time. They're all going to cross the line, but the problem is they're all in each other's dirty air. So these guys are back like Arnaud are not going to get a good lap in. So yeah, they've got to cross the line. They had to really, because they weren't going to make it, but they're in dirty air, so their lap times aren't going to be good what they could have been.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all, unfortunately. But here's the first bus. Oh, no, it's not J. Cole. Never mind. It's Colin that's going to go into the pits. He's going to try and go out for another lap. So I believe that wasn't a push lap that he just did. 1:34.0. It might be not that bad for Colin because there's people struggling to get some good laps here. We've got Clark who goes up to the line. He's going to dive it in into the pit lane. We're seeing Alex, who's purple set to 2 right now in the... no, purple set to 1, sorry, in the Haas. We've got Dave purple set to 2. But that's going to change. We've got Williams, who is stuck right in the middle of this. This is going to be quite tricky between one of the Haas cars. I don't want to be the Williams. Well, Alex is going to lose so much time there as Dave goes fastest. He's now the man to beat with a 1:32.339. Arnaud's invalidated, so that's his lap time done. Senna goes across the line at 1:29.2. That's more like it. Lakitu now goes fastest. Anything more? Senna goes second. Casper now goes fastest. Any more times? We've got so much flurry of drivers. Craggy now goes top. Last season's race winner. It's hard to keep track all the time on who's going to be where. And that is it. So Craggy has got pole position for tonight's Bahrain Grand Prix, and that is going to be very good for him. He only did 1 lap because he struggled to get the rest in. So here are your results then. Of course, that's going to work out good for Casper because he's got an engine penalty, so he's going to be starting highest out of the ones who got engine penalties. We've got Craggy from Casper, Alex Morgan with a good qualifying. He's going to love that. Then we got Lakitu, Senna, Jaco, Marco, who is the fastest on the intermediates, who he probably should have been on soft, to be fair. Then we got Mert, Dave, Colin, Arnold, Curry, and Clark. Clark is starting dead last, but he may not be dead last because I don't think he's got a penalty. So what a crazy qualifying session we just had, Jamie.
Yeah, and I think Alex maybe could have got pole there, but the problem is where he was on track, he was behind the Williams on the intermediate tyres, and obviously you could tell that the slicks were a good 4 seconds that quicker, so he probably gave himself enough distance to start a lap, but because the slicks were so much quicker in the intermediates, he caught in the middle sector, had the overtake, and that probably cost Alex pole, because I think he lost more than 3 tenths there for sure. But yeah, great lap there by Craggy, and obviously Casper as well, qualifying second, he was delighted with that, and Morgan in fourth as well. Them guys gambled on the slicks, it worked really well, and obviously it still wasn't peak grip at the end, because the pole was a 28 in this tier. I expect the pole to be a 27 or even 26. So it wasn't the easiest condition to work in there, but well done to the guys who gambled on 6. It paid off for them a treat.
Yep. I mean, I was not expecting that. I think it just shows how different approximate could be. I wasn't expecting it to be that heavy, to be fair, but that is a P1 tier for you. P1 always gets crazy weather, so we'll see what happens in the race. But we do have about 10 drivers taking penalties, so it's going to shake up the order even more. Craggy, though, has not taken an engine or gearbox penalty, so no matter what, he's going to be starting on pole position. But we have got Mertzy taking an engine penalty, Marco taking an engine penalty, Arnold taking an engine penalty, Casper taking an engine penalty, as well as Jaco and Dave. Taking gearbox penalties are Robite, but he's not here. The key to Colin and Morgan. So Morgan's only going to drop by little places, but for everybody else, they're going to be dropping down 10 places. But yeah, Craggy is going to have a really good shot of winning this one because his main rivals are obviously taking penalties, and obviously with Kevin not here, that's going to be interesting as well. We'll find out, of course, from our interviews how people are expecting to do, but I think it's quite. I think it's quite easy decision to take your penalty around it. I'm not surprised that people have taken it here. You can overtake, and you could get the undercut and overtake through there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's quite an easy take. Obviously, you got turn 1, and you also got the back straight as well. You've also got turn 3, which could be overtaken. There's lots of opportunities around here. So yeah, I'm not surprised to be overtaken. Obviously, with a smaller grid as well. Obviously, drivers probably work better than that. That gives it more of a reason to take it, because obviously only 14 drivers here tonight, and it's not as much punishment as it could have been on a track where we've had 4 grids this season. So yeah, that's going to work out well for these drivers getting rid of it tonight. And also, with it being dry weather, it means overtaking's a hell of a lot easier than it would be with them in the wet race. Yeah,
we have seen people with engine penalties climb their way through. I started 15th and finished 8th, so it's you got to pick your battles in terms of when you're going to take the penalty. There's no point taking it in a track that you can't overtake on, because it's literally going to be impossible. But I think for quite a lot of drivers, the ones who took it today, I think felt like that they should have taken it today and have done well. So I wonder if we're going to see that in the P1 tier this evening. Let's have a look at some media day stuff, because the drivers have been busy putting their questions to us, and if my Discord decides to work, thank you very much. So Casper and Axelot were put into rivalries, and they were asked, having raced together a fair bit this season, do you have mutual respect on circuit and are confident you're able to race cleanly? Axelot says, I feel like we can race cleanly, but will not be racing now or next week, so people can rest easy. And Casper with a shrug, so he's not sure, but again, of course, Axelot is not racing. And in the drivers' press conference, I'm going to see if anyone responds in P1. Nope, didn't look like it, so no drivers' press conference this week. But yeah, I've forgotten that Axelot couldn't make it this week. He usually does well around here, so yeah, he's going to lose a chunk of points tonight as well.
Yeah, definitely, he could for sure, and that's going to be difficult. He's had a good run from the form moment. He's had a few results. He maybe could have got a point in Hungary, but he got screwed earlier by Senna's good driving with his teammate here. So yeah, obviously he's doing well, and he's going to be good to missing the last 2 races. And obviously his brother Woki also missing the next 2 races. And obviously he races in the P2 tier, so I'm assuming they're going to be a nice family holiday, I guess. So
yeah,
hope they're enjoying it, and we'll see you back in China in 2 weeks' time.
Yep. All they're missing next week as well. Oh, they're probably glad that they're going to be missing Jeddah, to be fair, because I think Jeddah is going to be, utter chaos in the lower tiers. But do watch this space, to be fair. But we have got the drivers ready to be gridded up pretty much. There's no grid penalties, I believe, either. So it is just the hardware penalties. And don't forget, you have to take it at least once per season, an engine and a gearbox, and you can't take it in the same week. And after tonight, there's quite a lot of people that have taken it. So I think it's half the grid that have taken at least one penalty, and there's half the grid still yet to take theirs. So imagine if we get tracks like Jeddah, China. We only had one wet race so far. The ones that haven't taken it yet, they're probably going to be regretting that they haven't taken it now, because they're probably more likely going to be taking it at a track that is potentially going to rain.
Yeah, definitely. The chances will keep increasing until less rain we've got. So yeah, we've only got 5 races to go, and there's a good chance that at least 2 of them will be wet races. So yeah, you don't want to take any penalty on the wet race, because overtaking the wet is just virtually impossible. And so yeah, you want to get on a track like this where it's easy overtaking, dry weather with plenty of race zones, a bit of tyre wear as well, and also a race where strategy can play a key factor as well. Obviously, you could see all 3 tyres are good racing tyres around there, so I think we could see some variance in strategy tonight.
I think we saw in all tiers, we saw plenty of drivers going for soft tyres, which I was not expecting, to be fair, for that to be the case. But for some tiers, it made it work, but there were some tiers where people were struggling towards the very end of their stint, and it didn't work for them. But I think if you were to go on the soft, I would probably go towards the end where you're on light fuel and you're probably going to have less tyre wear as well. So, but I know there will be some people, especially if you're taking an engine penalty, probably going to get your soft tyres out of the way, but you may not have much options, like if we get a safety car, for example. So yeah, I think softs can work, but I think it'll only last 5 or 6 laps. But mediums could last a bit as well. Yes, it's high on tyre wear, but I think it's best conditioned towards the end again when it's better conditions. But I've already made my predictions for P1, so I'm not going to change it, because me and Colin have got a little competition going on, and Colin just got 1 point for predicting Craggy for pole. But anyway, so we're tied 7-all at the moment. But Jamie, who would you predict your top 3 of this one after knowing the penalties?
I'll go Lakitu, Craggy, and Marco. That's my top 3.
Oh,
yeah, Lakitu, Craggy and Marco. That's what I'm going to predict. I think Lakitu's due a race win, and I think he'll get it tonight with Kevin not here.
Yeah, I think Lakitu, of course, he loves his circuit. He has done well before. He is a top-tier veteran in P1 tier, let's just say, in One Hub Racing, so I'm not really that surprised. So get your thoughts, get your predictions in the chat. We will love to see you getting involved, especially since it's the last race. And thank you for bearing with us tonight with all the delays that were going on. But we're getting through. Of course, next week we go to Jeddah, and let's look at the calendar for the final few races of the season, because we're at the second half now. So we have got Bahrain, obviously, is this week. Then we got Jeddah next week. We've got Shanghai International Circuit the week after. Then we got Miami, Abu Dhabi, and Las Vegas. So that is your calendar for the rest of the season. Of course, a lot of these tracks, very technical circuits. And of course, Jeddah, I would expect to see more people taking car wear penalties there in this tier. I could tell you that. Or maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, a lot of technical circuits for the final 6 rounds, but there could be quite a few drivers that may want to go lower wings than everybody else.
Yeah, I think on this game it's the way to go. You have to go as low as you can cope with, I think, because of how overpowered the straight line DRS, ERS are. So yeah, I think you're going to see drivers go low on the wing, especially tracks like you got Saudi next week, and you got tracks later on like likes of Las Vegas, where you may see drivers having no downforce at all on that track. That could be a viable setup around there. So we will wait and see that. Still plenty of ways to go until Vegas though. But yeah, the sort of tracks coming up, they're all sort of quite similar in a way. And yeah, it should be a good end of season, because some of these tracks are good for racing. but he's got some low grip tracks like Miami and Vegas, which might be quite difficult for these guys. You might see a few incidents of them tracks because they're not the nicest to drive on, in my view.
Yeah, I think out of all the tracks, Jeddah is quite difficult for me as a wheel player, because yes, I'm good at it, but I tend to get bad luck. But anyway, I've just seen the countdown, and I've seen the ready up call from our good friend Colin. So we should be good to go, ready for the final race of the evening around Bahrain. Of course, we just had our break week last week. So we'll go through our sponsors very quickly. Of course, we have to say a big shout out to our title sponsor, Delta.app. If you use the command !Delta on Twitch chat, if you're over 18, you can make smart decisions like the world's top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. You can click the link in the description on YouTube, and if you're watching on Twitch, you could click it in chat just now because I just put it, of course. We, of course, got Next Level Racing. Those are the prizes that they could win this season. Make sure you check it out. Sim Racing Setups, of course, we've got many prizes on offer this season, including the Drive of the Day each week wins a £10 voucher that they could put towards some setups. And if you want to get some setups of your own, you could use the code OneHubRacing to get 10% off at checkout. And you could use that to pre-order some F1 26 DLC setups. I would highly recommend you do that to get an early advantage when the DLC comes out. Pure Sim Gear, you can get 10% off at checkout by using the code OHR10P to get some gloves and socks, and you can also win a pair of Pure Sim Gear gloves or socks by winning the most combined fastest laps on pole. Quite tough now as we head to the final six race of the season on who's going to get that one. We're obviously going to have to wait and see. Our partners Vespertine supporting our merchandise, our apparel and championship prizes. And we got SimGrid. Without SimGrid, there'll be loads of forms we have to fill out, and it'll be absolutely crazy. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. So like Jamie was saying, a completely dry race for the drivers. Most people will probably start on the medium tyres, but we've seen in your tier, Jamie, quite a few drivers opted to start on the hards, but probably not the favoured tyre to start on, in my opinion.
No, they do take a while to heat up for sure in these conditions. And I've got the grid for you. So I've run down the grid for you. We've got Craggy on pole, Alex in second, Senna third, Curry fourth, Morgan fifth, Keatu sixth, Clark in seventh, Casper in eighth, Colin ninth, J. Cole 10th, Marco 11th, Mert in 12th, Dave in 13th, and Arnard at the back of the grid. So that is the grid for the race. Obviously, because so many penalties, I thought it'd be good to run for it so people sort of know where everybody is, because we don't really get a chance to see it before the race starts.
Yeah, Colin's managed to get the spreadsheet working now, so we can actually see who's going to be starting where before we go. So, yeah, good on Colin. Thank you, Colin. So now everyone has a rough idea, and we'll see if people can climb their way up. It is doable. We have seen people climb up their way up before, but it obviously does depend on what tyres the drivers will be starting on. So let's get see if we can have a little bit of a nose. We have some gambles for the softs, but we have no that is interesting. We've got no Callum tonight. I completely forgot we've got no Callum. So Callum's not going to be racing tonight, of course. So it's just Casper in at the sole McLaren. I could see Morgan on Haas. I'm going to go on Haas if I were you. They're probably going to change it right at the end and probably troll us at the end of the day. They are going to troll us. But Morgan's having a bit of banter in the chat saying that he might beat Craigie. It is doable. To be fair, the last couple of races for Morgan have been pretty good.
Yeah, and he's got a good grid slot. Fifth on the grid is good, and yeah, he's showing good pace at times as well. And I'm just seeing with a smaller field, and you won't get so spread out. So yeah, he could be going for good on as he's about to get going.
We are about to get going. 5 red lights on the board here in the P1 tier. The final race of the evening is a go. Pretty even start from both of our drivers, Craggy and Alex, but everyone going side by side to T1. Both Ferraris getting a good start actually as well. So Craggy in first, Alex in second, Morgan goes up into third. It's like Ferrari in real life,
Marco's
isn't it?
Spin.
Marco's had a spin. He's dropped down into 14th position, which is not what he's got. A bit of end play damage as well, I think. Oh no, he doesn't. He's got away scot-free with that one. As we're seeing quite a few years. Morgan's dropped down to 5th. Oh, he had such a good start as well, and now he's dropped back to where his usual position is. But Craggy, what a good start from him.
Yeah, great stuff him into lead control there. There was a bit of contact in midfield. I believe Marco was involved in that with a McLaren as well. So yeah, there was a bit of contact in midfield there. But all sorts of stuff out there nicely there. But yeah, Craggy, nice lead, and he's got nice gap. But Alex is staying with him. This is what he needs. He needs to stay with him for his championship. And you hope for he needs to really get done. As the biggest move up the field actually is in the biggest move up the field was Clark, who's up 3 places. So was Casper and Dave up 5 places. A great start by the Aston Martin man. As Mert gets past J. Cole for 11th there, as Craggy and Alex. Craggy's got a nice lead. He's in a good position, about about 6/10 lead. But remember, DRS does come in play down that second straight on the first lap. So DRS does come in very early on, unlike other tracks.
Yep, lap 2 of 29, and there is a double detection point. Actually, no, there are 3 detection points compared to 2, because we saw in Hungary where the double DRS, you only get the detection point at 1 place, but we are seeing some side-by-side action. Curry, interestingly, goes on the hard compounded tyres, not what I wanted to go at the moment, but you can see Casper trying to get the move. He's on the soft tyres, and one of the only ones near the top to go on the softs, and he needs to get a move done fast. He's already done 3 places. He wants to make another, but he can't seem to get past Clark right now, because they're all trying to use their battery to good effect. It's one of those tracks, as I was saying earlier in the talk show, where you've got to really save the battery, especially through sector 2, as we're seeing Colin Lakitu and J. Cole having a little bit of a scrap in at the background towards 5, 6 and 7. Lakitu brave and trying to defend from J. Cole there. J. Cole's going to go for it. It's Dave's had a moment on the soft, and he's got a bit of damage. Yeah, he was running so well as well. So both drivers who've had good starts, unfortunately dropping near the back of the grid, unfortunately. It's Casper's making his way through in towards turn 12, and that's him through almost in the podium position. Senna's had a good start, to be fair. I was speaking to him before the race, and he was struggling to get a good setup, and he's just changed his setup for the Grand Prix, and it seems to be working, which I'm quite surprised with, because he hasn't had a chance to really test it before this race. So Senna doing very well so far.
Yeah, sometimes that works. So if you go blind on a setup and you don't have bad things about it, you just drive the car and drive it open there as the cars are going to the pit wall there to defend it in the turn 1. But yeah, Senna obviously can drive for himself tonight. As you've got Alex going to take the lead over Craggy in turn 1. He gets the move done. Yes, he does. But Craggy will get a chance to fight back with DRS up the hill here, but can he get a good exit? No, you have to say Alex got D's next down. I think he should be all right up the hill, but yeah, Senna can drive for himself tonight, so he didn't have to worry about his teammates. So Senna can just focus on the good race and have a bit of fun. He didn't have to hold guys back for that. Might release him a little bit tonight, I think.
Yeah, and he's not really much in a championship fight either, so he could probably have some fun. And that's where the pressure goes off a little bit. If you're not in a championship fight, you're probably going to perform better and climb your way up through the field anyway. So that is what Senna's going to, of course, try and do. But he's got Casper wheeling him in right now. But Casper, like I was saying, has got to get a move on. Turn 10, we haven't seen many people make a move in towards turn 10 and 11. We have seen brave moves being done in quite a lot of tiers, but not many moves being done there. I think the main move is towards the first sector, turns 1, and then heading towards turn 4. That's where we've seen the main moves being made as we're about to start lap 4. Senna's already out of DRS to Craggy, so I wonder if he's saving a bit of ERS. I think he is. He's probably doing the same to what we both did in our races. So yeah, he's burning a bit on the back straight, only using it on the straights. Casper, I think, is probably going to be potentially doing the same thing. And the top 2 are just having a whale of a time out in front in 1 and 2. But we'll see if Casper can make the move. Senna's got some brilliant straight line speed, by the way, in that Mercedes. But Casper's trying to follow the line. Here comes Casper Klein in towards turn number 1. Is he going to try and go for the move? He thinks better of it. He doesn't go for it. Clark closing in as well. Meanwhile, J. Cole trying to make the move on Curry, which he does. He's closed up right to the back of Lakitu, actually. I thought Lakitu would have climbed his way up a little bit, but he doesn't seem to be.
No, I think he got involved in that first caught incident with the Williams. I think that's what happened to him. He got hit. I think that he lost 3 places there. He lost 5 places off the start. He's moved way upfield now as Collins go around the outside of Curry. Curry had hard times banging wheels and Collins has to spin. He managed to keep it. He managed to gather it together though, but he's lost 2 or 3 places there, and that's how Mark would get through. Though Mark was not really having a good front time at the race so far. He's stuck in a bit of a train. He's got to get some clear air, I think, because he's a long way behind the leaders already. Mark, it's not working that well for the Williams man.
No, it's not looking well for the Williams driver so far, but he's got a lot of work to do. You never know. He could get, if I was him, maybe go for an aggressive undercut, maybe pit a lap or two earlier than expected, and that's probably potentially where it could work. I think most people I've seen in all tiers tonight have started on mediums, then went on to hards, and then went on to mediums. I think that is the fastest strategy to be on, because you're going to be on the softer tyres right at the end, and it's going to last a bit longer than if you were on the mediums at the start of the race. So I'm guessing that's what majority of drivers are going to be on. Of course, we had a safety car in P4 tier, but we haven't had any safety cars elsewhere. As Alex almost tried to go for the... No, Craggy almost tried to go for the move on Alex, couldn't quite do it, but Marco is in really early than I was expecting. Again, going for the aggressive undercut. Craggy trying to get his tyres up to temperature. He's saving quite a bit of hers, actually. So he's doing... As Casper's out. Casper's out.
Yeah, it's a crash. That's a safety car.
Yeah, safety car.
And that is really... As Morgan hits back a Mert there, when Morgan got damaged there, he tapped the back of the Williams there because he's slowing down the Delta. And yeah, what happened there? We didn't see it, obviously, with Casper. We just
lost
out
it
the race.
He must have made contact turn 3, or he lost it somewhere. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's seen down the straight, so he's left the session straight away, so he's not very happy there. And that is... And the one guy who'd be ruining that is Marco. That killed his undercut. He's going to come out in last place. Dave's still driving around with his damaged front wing, so if I was him, I'd pit and get that changed. So it's worked out alright for him
80%,
back in the race.
86%, both front left
why
and front
he
right.
stayed out there, but it's worked out for him anyway, so... Obviously, probably dropped down Marco, but he's back in the race as the safety cars. This is our first safety car, the P1 tier this season. Oh, no, we had in Australia, didn't we? Yeah, it's our second safety car this season.
We had second. Yeah, our second safety car. And every time we talk about safety cars, well, I just talked about safety car, and we got one. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but I would expect everyone who's on mediums or soft to go in the pit. The one that has hindered the most.
Worked out.
Yeah, Arnold and Curry, it's not worked out at all. But for everybody else in this race, and Marco, but for everybody else, they're probably loving this. But don't forget, we've got some teams that have got 2 drivers in, so they're probably going to have to double stack. But it's due to the fact that we only have 13 runners now.
Yeah, Morgan might... I think Morgan might be alright though, because Craig's on the way ahead. I think Morgan may be okay here. We've got side by side in pit lane between the Williams and the Red Bull. Mert was trying to pass Clark in the pits, which is allowed, I believe, on the safety car. Yeah, side by side here, so we may see both taking the pit lane. He's got a good pit crew here. Wait and see as Mert is going to come off them soft tyres. He'll be glad that safety car come out. That's worked out a treat for the soft tyres as well, because that has worked out amazing for them.
That was optimal.
They're able to pit now. Yeah, that was beautiful for them.
I think it lasts 5 laps, doesn't it, before it starts to die? So yeah, optimal pace for Mert, and at least he's got 2 set of mediums that he can use. He doesn't have to use hards if he doesn't want to. He could just go medium, but it's going to be risky if he does it. So he'll probably go onto a set of hards anyway. So Curry, interestingly, stays out. Probably he hasn't got another set of hards, but I think there was one other driver that had a set of hards. That was J. Cole. So he's probably done 2 sets of hards. So he's probably going to do the same shot as everybody else now. So your order right now is Curry in P1, Alex P2, Craggy P3, Senna in P4. We got Mert in P5, Clark in P6, Morgan P7, J. Cole in 8, Lakitu 9th, Arnold in 10th, and then we got Colin R. Mason in 11th, and we just see quite actually going on in towards the heavy braking zone of turn 10.
Yeah, I just saw Dave caught the pits on his soft tyres, change his wing, and he had to spin there, obviously trying to get tyres up temperature there. But thankfully, it's a safety car, so he doesn't lose any route because of it, and he's going to catch the back up out in the race. I'm surprised he's gone softs though, so he's done 2 sets of soft tyres. So he's going to get a set of hards a very long way. Obviously, safety car will extend the stint for him, but he's going double soft and a hard, which I believe we saw someone do in the P2 tier as well. So that is a strategy which... It's a very brave strategy, that. Obviously, not a fan of the medium tyre. Obviously, he wants to avoid them at all costs.
Fair enough. Fair enough. To be fair, the medium tyres, I think, for both of us felt quite nice in the end. So, I just didn't try the softs at that point because I didn't have time to try it, and there was no point. But yeah.
Now, as Curry now pits, obviously, he was at the back anyway, so if he's going to pit now. He should come ahead of Dave still, I think, so he's going to work out okay for him, but he obviously thought there's no point staying out in these old hards. I was getting overtaken by everybody, might as well pit now and get a set of tyres out the way, and obviously by doing this, he also takes slightly less wear on the tyres. Obviously, it's not much difference under a safety car, but can make all difference. And yeah, he should come out ahead of Dave still, I think, easily. So it's not worked out too badly there for Curry.
No,
There's no point
not
saying
at
that
all.
because he's going to get overtaken by everybody there, so that's all pit.
Yeah, I think if you were near the back, there is no point staying out. You're going to get swamped, absolutely swamped anyway. So yeah, it just makes sense if you pitted. We'll see who is gained the most now after the pit stops. Hang on a second. So Arnau's gained the most, up 5, as well as Mert up 8. Clark's gained 2. Alex has gained 1. Biggest loser has to be Curry, down 8, and we've had Lakitu down 2, Colin down 1, and Craggy down 1. Everyone else, with Senna and Marco, they pretty much stayed where they are. Senna's probably pretty much happier where he is in P3 for the time being, so we'll see where he ends up once the safety car comes and pulls into the pits, which shouldn't be very long now.
No, it should go this lap. Obviously, in the P40, we basically got the message when we were on the pit straight. So hopefully, these guys, it comes out a bit. The message comes a bit earlier than that. Hopefully, it should come out now into sector 3, really, ideally. So hopefully, it does on this tier because that was not ideal. And I think the guys behind, I was in second place. I think the guys behind us got a bit screwed up by that. Yeah, the safety car's coming in. Thankfully, plenty of notice for these guys to get the right tires and right window and to get a good restart. Obviously, Alex, where will he go? Will he go early or will he go late? We'll wait and see.
Yes, I think it's Alex is going to be the Burt Mylander. He has control. No one can overtake until we get through the safety car line as of in-game. A lot of drivers are getting heat into the tyres because I can imagine it's going to be really cold right now, especially if you're on those hard tyres, which you're going to have to stretch for as long as you can. Alex gets underway early, and it looks like he has got a very good restart. And we're going for the second time tonight. Green flag racing here in Bahrain. You can see one of the Williams actually is having a good restart. We're seeing Lakitu trying to make his way through past J. Cole, which he does. Can he get the car stopped in time? We got J. Cole trying to get the switchback of Dreams. It doesn't look like Lakitu made the move stick, unfortunately, which means that took advantage for J. Cole, who's had a pretty good race so far, up into 7th place. Nice battle for them at the moment, but what can Lakitu do as we enter turn 5? I don't think he's going to go for it just yet. Nope, he isn't. Heading towards turn 6 now. They're staying put, but Alex and Craggy remaining line astern, but Senna definitely closing in at the moment. There's a lot of people burning battery, it seems.
Yeah, big log up for Colin into the hairpin, and now Mark's going outside here into turn 10. He's going to get the move done. Yes, he does. Colin's going to fight it though. Big banging wheels there. Colin will get the better exit, but I think Marco used a bit of battery. He'll get through. That's a key move for the Williams man to get that move done. But look at Dave on the soft tyres. He's got by as well. So Dave sits by as well. So Colin's lost 2 places in a straight there.
Probably not what he was expecting. Colin, his race has not gone according to plan, but don't forget, in one hub racing, the top 12 do score points. It is a mandatory 2-stop. The drivers have to complete 2 stops, and the drivers have done, every driver has done at least 1, so we don't have to worry about that. That Senna's been looking very good on the back of Craggy. He has got quite a bit of battery to burn, so everyone's going to try and use the right-hand side to full effect here as we make our way in towards turn number 1. No moves being made up front, but what about with the likes of Morgan and Clark? Doesn't look like it. They're all in one big DRS train as we enter this next section. In towards turn 3 they go. We've seen in real life, we've even seen in F1 esports, how it's so difficult to overtake when you're just in one huge DRS train.
So Clark had a big slide down turn 4, managed to keep it going there, managed to keep the place there, but yeah, Clark really, he had a half spin there, but thanks for him, he managed to keep it pointing in the right direction, but that's one way to get the tyres up temperature, I guess, but not the ideal way. Clark is struggling. That car looks absolute handful, to drive. Every traction zone, he's lighting the rears up.
Looks like he's running an aggressive setup as well, like that is probably like too rear heavy, it looks like.
Morgan
or it might
should
be
have
he got the wrong
to get by.
Yeah, he's going to get by now.
Easy move.
But the
easy
fact
move,
is, he's lost a lot of time. They've lost a lot of time because of Clark struggling. So, not what Morgan would have wanted, but still, his best result in the P1 tier so far, Touchwood. So let's hope he can keep this up. But yeah, Clark not having the race of his life right now. As we can see, J. Cole is right on the back of this, and same with Nikita and Arnaud. But Nikita and Arnaud, chances for their races to recover, really, especially Arnaud, who was near the back in the first couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. Safety car really did help him really get back in the field as Clark. Should have good on speeders. They're going with this line on the pit wall here, so they're going very tight to the pit wall here. I'm not sure why they do that, but anyway, but I don't know. Maybe quicker going that way. I'm not sure, but Clark Morgan just stay ahead, and now J. Cole would be fancy maybe an opportunity once Clark loses DRS. But the problem with J. Cole is that they both got DRS. He's got DRS ahead, so it's going to be very difficult overtaking a DRS train as we've seen all season. If you're in the middle of these DRS trains, overtaking is now impossible. There's, that Red Bull still looking a bit not nice, I have to say. It's not going to be good for the tyre wear, that either. It's going to light the rears up like all the time. You're going to just, the tyre wear is going to be an absolute nightmare. So you may struggle for stint length there. So I've got a yellow flag on my POV, so that's not ideal. But there
yeah,
we
same.
go.
So do I, Jamie. So do I. I think it's going to stay for quite a bit until we get a proper yellow flag, so bear with us. I can see if Luke can design an overlay where it covers up the yellow flag until we get to another yellow flag. But we are starting to see people getting warnings so far, as I'm seeing one of Clark getting 2 warnings. So if he's not careful, he would pick up a penalty. I think Craggy's just being patient. He knows the race is not run just yet. He could just save a bit of battery. Look at the amount of battery that Craggy has got to use with. I think he's almost got a full tank of battery, where he's got more than Alex. So if I was him, he could save a bit now and then go full attack later on if he could just stay within DRS, which is very smart of him. Colin, by the way, has just passed Curry for P11. But yeah, I think there's certain elements where you just don't want to go for moves every lap. Just play it safe, save a bit of battery, and then just try and go for the moves a little bit later on.
Yeah, and they're rotating Dave. Well, I think Dave's tyres are gone already. Yeah, and it's actually Senna, the guy struggling with battery the most. He was down like 1% on the straight, saving a bit in the mid sector by using none. But yeah, Senna's trying to use battery to keep him DRS front two, but the front two just seem to have superior pace, and it won't be too long till I think these two break DRS like it did in the first one. But Mert is giving Senna a good run of money here. We've seen these two have some good battles, obviously, notably in Spain when they were banging wheels for the whole first sector. So these two may offer us another good battle. But look at them, they're 4.5 seconds ahead of 5th place. These guys are just, they're pulling away at the moment, and these guys behind haven't got answers. Clark's lost DRS to Morgan, I believe, so that may allow J. Cole to pass him down the pit straight. I'm
surprised J. Cole hasn't gone for the move at all yet. So I think it might just be that Clark has got superior straight line speed, and J. Cole just can't get past. So I think J. Cole's just going to have to wait a little bit, or maybe J. Cole's struggling a bit to save a bit of battery. So J. Cole's got a lot of work to do, but he knows that the race is not won at this point, so he's got plenty of laps to try and recover from this, as Craggy's millionth attempt to try and get past. Again, he's going to be saving some tyre wear and battery, so not going to go for it just yet. Meanwhile, Mert is going to try and go for it in towards T1, trying to go around the inside of Senna, but Senna tries to cut back in towards turn 2. Nicely done for the Mercedes driver. Really good defence there. He's doing very well to hold on to a podium spot, but didn't get a bad exit. He got a bad exit towards turn 3, and Mert, brilliant job there, up in towards P3 right now, and now past turn 4 in towards turn 5 and 6. So yeah, Mert in towards the podium position right now, as we got our first penalty belonging to the Keto.
Yeah, he does tend to get the penalties. So he gets a lot of penalties. That's one of his downfalls, I think. That's why he's probably falling a bit back champion there. Yeah, Mert made that move into turn to the first chicane. He purposely went a bit deep in there on the entry so he could get a really good exit, and that allowed him to slingshot past Senna there up into 3rd place. And now these two sort of on their own pride about the 3rd, as the front two have sort of pulled away a little bit, as Morgan's got a nice little gap to Clark down. So Morgan's on sole place in 5th, as J. Cole is struggling to pass Clark. Actually, in that last, no, it's not last last lap. Clark gained 3/10 on Morgan straight, and he managed to get DRS down the pit straight. I believe with an 8/10 gap now. I don't think that's going to be possible now. So Jaco has to get the move done. I wonder if Jaco will let Lakitu pass as well. With Jaco, work as a team here. Maybe try and hold the other guys behind. I'll wait and see though down the pit straight. I believe Clark will be sitting duck now. These guys.
Arnaud's almost got the move on Lakitu there in towards the final corner. He knows Lakitu is struggling a little bit for grit right now, as we are starting to see Lakitu taking a different line in the start-finish straight compared to everybody else, and that's hindered him a little bit. Here comes Arnaud in towards turn 1, and that was easy does it. Easy pickings, and he's trying to follow J. Cole's line too, and I don't think he's going to get J. Cole this time by. I think he's going to wait until next lap, but brilliant comeback from Arnaud so far. Colin, by the way, has got past Curry once again, them having a ding-dong fight, but battle for the wooden spoon, a battle for the last point. As you can see, Day trying to go down the inside in towards turn 4, and he goes through on Curry. Nicely done, as Dave's got a warning though in towards turn 5. Not ideal, but Senna looks like he's going to fight back on Mert here.
Yeah, Dave yet to score a point this season. A great opportunity to get on the mark here. Senna was keeping Mert very nice there, but Mert got a great exit there. He gained 2/10 corner exit there, and he's got to really just try and get a good run through these long corners now, and try and wave off the threat of Senna there, because Mert could be looking on for his first podium of the season. That could be a possibility tonight with his teammate Marco struggling a bit in the traffic, but I believe once Marco gets clean air, he will be able to show his pace, but unfortunately he's a long way behind the leaders. Any chance of race win, I think, is looking very long shot now, but he could still maybe get a decent point finish, but at the moment it's looking like Alex is the guy who can take advantage of Kevin's departure from tonight's race. So yeah,
I don't think Alex will lead the championship, but at least he would close the gap to
Senna up the inside.
Senna up the inside.
Senna outbrake him. Yep, he's got the move done. He's actually got DRS actually, so he managed that nicely as Mert tries to go back inside again, but Senna got DRS down the second straight, so he managed to get the move done after the detection zone. So Senna's got DRS to defend. As there's a contact there between the Williams and the Mercedes. I think they got away with it though, but I believe Mert did hit the back of the diffuser of the Mercedes there. I did see something fly up, but I'm not sure if that was just. I don't think that was damage, or just maybe just a bit of superficial damage. But both cars look all right to me, so I think they got away with that.
I think they got very lucky, actually. So fair play that they didn't get damaged for that one. As we head to the halfway point of the race, make sure you do give us a follow. Guys. Morgan is catching up these guys as well, and it looked like in the background that Craggy was going to go for a move as well, but it didn't. But J. Cole looking quite racy.
Clark. Yeah, J. Cole and Arnaud both passed Clark from restart, so they're up to 6 and 7, and now Clark really let his teammate through here. But his car seems a little bit better now than it did earlier on, but it's still a bit of a handful. So I wonder if maybe he's managed to cool them rears down a little bit now, and maybe trying to get back on a bit of rhythm again. As Marco has made no progress since overtaking Connor. Marco's just stuck in his DRS train, and Marco may be going for another. He probably got another undercut here, I think. Obviously, you're going hards to pick yourself over the hards now. So if you're going hards to the end, he can pit this lap as he's coming. So it's a Red Bull ahead of Clark. So these guys are pitted early, and they're surely pitting this early, going hards to the end.
Yeah, an aggressive undercut, which is not surprising if you're near the back. Try and go for an aggressive undercut and see if it works. But we've seen in some occasions, in some of the tiers where it didn't. Clark's on softs. That's not going to get to the end. Definitely not.
No,
I think this was a mistake.
Free stop strategy then. Yeah, you just set the wrong tyre. Obviously, you might set the softs for like a fast lap attempt at the end. They've got to change it. Obviously, you do the strategy, pre-race strategy, and sometimes you forget to do it. You do it on the fly, and he hasn't changed it. And Clark, softs aren't going to do 15 laps. Not a cat and mouse chance. So he's on the free stop strategy, and that any chance of a good result for him is gone unless we get another safety car.
Yeah, I think unless we get a safety car, they're pretty much screwed at this point for some of these, because maybe they may not have the right amount of tyres. I don't know, because yeah, I think Clark's going to struggle for the rest of this race, unfortunately, which is going to be a shame. He's not going to be scoring that much points, which is probably breathed a sigh of relief for the drivers that were near around him. We'll have to wait and see. So with Alex and Craggy staying out, they're going to have to stay out for a bit longer, because obviously, unless if they chose hard tyres, they're not going to be able to stretch they're not going to be able to have to pit for quite a while. I think lap 19, 20 is the earliest you'll probably go into the pit lane.
Merton, Morg, Senna thing, so they're presumably going hard to the end. I believe if you go mediums, you can maybe get 11 laps in the stint at most, I believe. So, yeah, probably pit around like 18, 19. That's the earliest you can pit, but ideally you want to pit 19 or 20. I think that's the perfect stint length for the medium tyre, and should be the quicker tyre at the end as well. And we've got a nice battle between Colin, Curry. We've got a nice battle between Craggy and Alex for lead, and then the guys pitting now are coming out, and Senna and Clark. Senna is still a long way ahead of Clark there, so Clark's undercut didn't really work there, and Marco on the hard tyres still getting temperature. So the problem is on this track, the undercut isn't as powerful as other tracks because you have to get a 2 or 3 lap undercut to make it work. Because if you come straight out the pits on hard tyres, sometimes you're going to be as quick as guys on old mediums, so it's a long game for Marcos player, I believe. It could work for him later on, but yeah, the first couple laps on the hard tyre are not that nice.
No, I do not like the hards on the first few laps, but then after that it's a lot better, I have to say. But who knows, we could get another safety car. There could be drivers that are prone to make mistakes when they're on worn tyres towards the end of the race, so anything can happen. And with Alex pulling off that gap, it's showing how much pace he's got right now on those hard tyres compared to Craggy. Imagine what they're going to be like on the medium compounded tyres a little bit later on in the next few laps, as Arnau's looking very racy on J. Cole. He's got right on the gearbox, but as J. Cole got the supreme straight line speed to defend from ERT Arnaud, through goes Arnaud, baby. They're leaving as much space as they can. Great races between the pair of them, but J. Cole defends to the inside. Arnaud now's going to have to go for another try here if he wants to go for it. I don't think he's going to try and go for the move here. Nope, he's not. He is going to stay behind J. Cole for the time being.
There's Collins in again for a set of hard score at the end. Yeah, it's not ideal there. You want to get the move done really in turn one. You ain't get moved up there, but it's not as nice because obviously the straight's not as long and it's a bit more difficult overtaking opportunity. So yeah, you want to try. Ideally, you want to get it so you pass the guy after the detection point, so you pass him and you get DRS up the hill, but it's so difficult to time that just about right. It's so difficult. So yeah, we'll go again next lap, I believe, and we'll have another round of that next lap. So yeah, two very experienced racers with Nikita not far behind. Well, these guys are all close up to each other. Obviously, still yet to pit. I believe if he stayed out now, you're committing mediums to the end, I believe. So you'll go another 2 or 3 laps and then pit for a set of mediums. So that's what these guys are doing, I believe.
Yeah, mediums at the end of the race.
You'd have pitted already to get the best out of them.
Yeah, you would have had to pit like now, because otherwise you would pretty much be screwed. So I think not many people went for double hards, did they? I think only a few drivers did. And so for some drivers it worked, and for some drivers it didn't. But we are on lap 18 right now, and the gap now has increased 2 laps. I wonder if Craggy is struggling on those tyres a little bit. Now, I'm just looking at his ERS, actually, Craggy. He's burnt quite a bit. He was saving a bit earlier on as well, so I wonder if he's struggling a bit more. Clark has picked himself a time penalty. That's his first, I believe. Yeah, that's his first.
I'm just going to send him inside here. No, thinks better of it. I thought I was going to oversend there, but no, he was a bit too far back, and J. Cole seems to have quite decent land speed. It's very difficult for Arnaud to get a move done. And they both got similar levels battery there, so they're both using similar levels of battery. But yeah, Arnaud just doesn't seem to have the confidence to send up inside the J. Cole there up the hill. So be quite frustrated for Arnaud not being able to get past J. Cole here, because I believe he maybe can get by, maybe be a little bit quicker, but you have to be a lot quicker to get a clean overtake done up the hill.
Yeah, I think there were times where I could have done it, but there was just like little space I could have done, and my braking is always quite tricky, which is why I had to stay put, because I think you would burn so much ERS otherwise. So it's about sometimes trying to pick your battles and just managing your ERS effectively, because again, you don't want to use medium for the entire race, because it's not going to last at the end of the day. So we would expect the potential final pit stops for the hard runners to be around about now, because they can stretch 10 laps on the medium for the P1 tier. We do know this, so Here we go then, as we got 2 seconds of gap now separating Alex and Craggy. But Arnow's looking good on J. Cole. Arnow's going to go for the move once more. They've been scrapping for the entirety of the race. The birthday boy versus J. Cole then. Who's going to spoil the party? Well, we hope Arnow doesn't spoil his own party as he's through now up into 4th. Arnow's having a fantastic race.
Yeah, got them done a nice thing. Got a good exit crucial out of turn too. Because even J. Cole DRS wasn't a threat into turn up the hill. So yeah, it's good news about Arnold and up into 4th place. He's got a 4-second gap to Morgan Ed. Can he close the gap? And can J. Cole stay with these guys? That's crucial now because J. Cole seems to be struggling a little bit. I believe his tyres may be going off. I believe we may see J. Cole pit stop this lap.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers will pit at the end of this lap if I were you. If you're not, then you're probably going to be left vulnerable to the undercut, but we'll have to wait and see. But let us know your predictions. How's your predictions changed since we last looked? Of course, it's hard to not follow this battle between Arnold and Jayco at the moment because it's very interesting. Jayco, of course, experience, Arnold experience, and they're going to lose so much time to the cars in front, but to be honest, they don't care. They're not in a championship fight. They just want to have some fun. But
Craggy's in.
Craggy's in. I'm surprised Arnold didn't follow suit, but we will see. I think
Oh,
Craggy had to do the
yet.
respond to try and go ahead. He nearly spent the pit lane. It was very close for Craggy there.
Yep, Arnold's in. What will these other two do? They're all in. All the guys behind are in, so they're all following each other. So this battle could continue as they all slow down the pit lane nicely there, which is good to see. One of the more difficult pit lanes on the calendar gets slowed down for. We've seen a few 10-second minutes slide across the tiers. So yeah, great to see these guys in the P1 tier not doing that. As Craggy leads pit lane in 3rd place. He's going to be come ahead of Mert there, so that undercut from Mert. He's getting a little bit there, but Craggy, he's in a good position. He had plenty of clean air to do a really good lap on the mediums and maybe put a bit of pressure on Alex. No, this is where undercut does work. Fresh mediums, this is where undercut is a lot more powerful than on hard. So yeah, Craggy, if he do a good lap here, then he could be back in the DRS, even ahead of Alex. So wait and see how that does. Alex presumably in this lap to cover the Ferrari man, because you don't leave it too late, because you may leave yourself a lot of time to catch up. So yeah, I do expect Alex and Morgan to both be in this lap. Morgan may be on the podium here if he can get a good stint on the mediums. Morgan may be in the podium fight, so we'll watch out for that. Obviously our P2 tier champion last season, and we probably his best race in the P1 tier tonight.
He's taking advantage for people not here, and who would have thought we would have said Morgan is on fight for the podium in the P1 tier at this stage of the season? Crazy, but it's not about you got to pick your battles, and obviously Morgan is here, and some drivers that are faster not. And yes, people have lives, but people are committed to a season, and Morgan is committed to a season, and Morgan's going to come in to the pit lane, and he is going to be pitting for the mediums.
Yeah, Alex on hard.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake for Alex. I think that's probably costing the race win. Yes, he's going to be ahead of Craggy, but Craggy is going to have so much pace throughout the entirety of the race. Craggy is pretty much been handed the win on the plate.
He's in DRS. He'll get DRS down the back straight if he can stay within a second, which he should do, because they're hard. The two take a good lap or two to warm up. So Craggy's going to be vulnerable, I believe, on this next lap to an overtake as Morgan comes on 8th place, just ahead of Marco. Marco's in a nice undercut here, but the problem for Marco is his tyres are a lot older than everybody else's. So Marco, he's got himself in a good position, track position-wise, but his tyres, if he can manage them well, it might work out for him. But yeah, Marco is going to he's going to struggle to get them tyres all the end. He's got a penalty as well, so that's going to help him either. So Marco, he's not going to take champion lead tonight, I don't think. He's not really in a position to do that. So he needed a podium finish, I believe, for that to happen. It's not going to happen for him. As Craggy, look how close he is. Look how much more confidence he is compared to Haas guy with Alex, who's still trying to warm his tyres up. He's going to take him a good 2 laps to do so. Craggy has to get a move done now.
I think him fitting when he did and on the right tyre, that's probably the strategy winning move for Craggy, who is, of course, a season 26 P1 champion. He has won here before. He's looking to add another Bahrain win to his name, and with him winning the last time we were here, obviously it's going to be definitely the one to watch. On lap 22 or 29, from experience when I was practicing earlier, the mediums wear less when you're on much lower fuel. So Alex would think, oh, it's going to be the same as what it was at the start of the race. Nope, it's not. It will wear less with less fuel. So Alex probably making a little bit of a mistake there, but the question is one way of actually catching up to a driver is another difficulty of actually trying to pass a driver. So Craggy has just got to be brave and just go for it, because otherwise if you're stuck behind a driver who's on harder tyres, there's just no point being on the softer tyre.
They're both on nons, they're both same battery, they've both got similar amount of battery levels, and I actually using a little bit of a battery there down this straight here, but you have to say Alex is locking up a lot. He really struggling for the tyre temperature and brake temperature as well. Now Craig's got DRS and ERS, but Alex used burning bit to defend there, and this is not really the overtaking opportunity here. You've got to get a good run for these last few corners, and that's where the opportunity for the race win can happen. I was racing the guy on hard in my tier, and I got past him quite early on, but by the end of the stint he was quicker than me and he managed to get by, but not because he was just a quicker driver on the track, I don't know. But I think the memes are the better race at the moment. Craggy, he didn't get a good exit last time out. He's got to get a better exit than he did last time. He's a bit closer than he was last time, but Alex would go for that tight line across the pit lane, I'm sure of it, because that seems the way these P1 tier cars go. As yes, he does. Now Craggy's a bit closer than he was last time. Slipstream, DRS, ERS. He's going to have to send it inside here. I don't like going overtake from this line. It's going to be very difficult. Will he go for the inside, go for around the outside, is he? Yes. Alex does defend, but he's got Alex a bit offline there. Craggy, he's going to get a better exit up the hill here, but he's going to run out of road. No, he's got enough room here, and now Alex is going to defend the outside, I believe. So Craggy's going to send him inside. He's got to go for it. Sure, he's got to go for it. It's for the race win. Round the outside, but Craggy defends well, but Craggy gets moved done. Alex does defend well then. Alex has actually fought back then. Alex is still keeping the lead somehow on them hard tyres. Amazing there. Amazing job by Alex there. The hards are now getting up temperature nicely, and it's going to be tougher now for Craggy to move done. But they're both really struggling for traction here, I believe, because they're on not the best few lines in the past few corners. So that was brilliant racing though. Good respectful racing between the two there. And we go again next lap.
The dirty air is very tricky around here, so I don't know how these two managed to keep it on a straight line. Fair play to them. It looked like Craggy's going to try and go for the move again, but Alex shuts the door. I have to say, if I was one of the two drivers, please send this battle for inside the steward's room, because I would love for Nick and Colin to dissect that. If not, I will clip that myself. So we can see
Craggy
that.
should have got a warning there. He's going to get moved on here, though.
He's got one warning. So was Alex, actually, but later on. As Craggy looks like he's going to go for the move here, but I wouldn't if I were you, because you're going to lose that on DRS. He's a lot closer.
At the moment, there, big slide there, he lost a lot of time there. It's fair back he was last time, so if I was Craggy, he's very long battery, he's not even using overtake here, so he's using non down the straight, so he's going to save his battery, go for the move next time. He lost the opportunity by having that slide out the final corner. He lost 2 or 3 attempts there, and that made the overtake impossible. You have to say, Alex is defending well here. He's got a lot of barriers also. Yeah, J. Cole on Marco, and J. Cole is through in 7th place on the soft tyres, and Marco and Lakita are fighting here, and Marco, it's not working out for him at all. He is really struggling. That safety car killed his race, I think, because he would have got a nice undercut to some guys, and he's just been playing catch ever since.
Arnold to Morgan. Oh my goodness, Arnold's having a great comeback to try and get past Morgan up into 5th place. So we're not just having a battle for P1 and P2, we're having a battle for P5 on the road. Senna doesn't look like he's going to get a podium. I think Mert's going to get a podium, it looks like.
Yeah, Mert looks quicker. I think Mert has got his podium in the bag, and actually got Morgan and Arnard fighting over 5th place, which if one of these two guys gets 5th place, it'd be a good result for both of them if they get top 5 here. You never know, they may be able to catch Senna, but I think Senna's a bit too far ahead. But yeah, them guys have a nice fight. It's Craggy, still within 4 attempts from Alex, but I don't see where he's getting the move done. It just doesn't seem like he has enough pace advantage to get the move done. It seems like Alex has got really good straight line speed, and he's doing well at the same battery. He's not got a full churn of battery, so he can just hold the overtake down the straight, and that's going to make Craggy's job a hell of a lot more difficult. And they are going for this tight line again into turn 1. Craggy, he went for the outside last time. What's he going to go for? He's going for the inside this time. No, he's going the outside again, trying to get a better exit up the hill, but Alex looks comfortable at the moment. Alex doesn't look threatened at the moment. He's getting all the exits right. If you get the exits right, use your battery nicely, he's going to make the job of Craggy now an impossible overtake, as Lakitu has got by Marco for 9th place.
Penalty.
That may pique Senna's interest as Morgan and Arnard. Yeah, Morgan and Arnold going side by side there. Arnold went off track there. He got a penalty there. I'm not sure I was forced off track there. I was just in driving off the track. But yeah, that has killed. And Colin's got a penalty as well. We're getting a few penalties. Got a yellow flag. That is. Dave's had a spin there from 10th place. Dave was looking good for a points finish. Still is, but he's lost 10th to Colin. But at the moment, he's still in penalty range of Colin there. So he still can get top 10. But yeah, that thankfully is cleared our permanent yellow flag now, so that's one. It's a shame for Dave, but very good news for our broadcast now that permanent yellow flag's gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few drivers that wish what could have been, but to be honest, not everyone's going to have the race their own way, unfortunately. But I have to say, Colin, that potentially could get points in P1. He will probably take that in a heartbeat, but it's just hard to decide who to follow, the battle for the lead or the battle for 5th place. But we do not want to miss the battle for P1 and P2 right now, as Craggy, I think, understandably, is going to save a bit of ERS as we enter in towards turn 1. He's going to pick his battles and not go for it just yet, which I have to say is very sensible. If I was Alex, if I could see that Craggy is saving ERS, I would save some ERS as well, because otherwise Craggy is going to be right at you.
J. Cole into turn 1. Yep, J. Cole's softs, I believe, probably going off now, and that's Lakitu got a penalty. It's just he moved an ampulla gap here, so Lakitu's outside of Colin with J. Cole. Sorry, J. Cole, give each other room, bang wheels there, and Lakitu is through. He's got DRS as well, so Lakitu's got the inside line up the hill, and he should get this move done. Yes, he does, and J. Cole on them softs, he's struggling for traction a bit then, and yeah, the move's done now. As Clark in 13th place sets our fast lap again, the 3-stop strategy there, and now Marco be fancying maybe a move on Jacob here. I believe he's got fewer penalties than Lakitu, so at the moment he'll be on for 8th place, I believe, which will be 5 points. Close 5 points on Kevin, but I think it's hoping for more than that coming into the race. No, I hope for more than that coming to the race tonight, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think this would have been a golden opportunity for Marco to gain, I think, so many points, and unfortunately it's not come to fruition for Marco. But for everybody else, they're probably going to try it, as Lakitu's had enough, as Jaco and Marco have passed him. So it's a bit of a shock, because I thought Lakitu's millions would have survived a bit longer, but obviously not, as we're on lap 27 to 29. Can Alex hold on to a race win? It looks like from the lap times that Alex is almost 3/10 quicker than Craggy in the final sector, but Craggy's first sector is where he's gaining quite a bit of time.
Craggy's just about hanging on DRS, but I believe Craggy, this is when your medium started to go off a little bit there. He's having a bit of a moment in coming out end of the hill there. Yeah, I believe Craggy's medium's going off. This happened to me in the P4 race. Around this sort of period of the race, that's when I started to struggle a bit for grip, and it's happened to Crag here. And now Alex has broken DRS, and he's got more battery as well. So
Morgan,
Alex,
what's happened to Senna?
Oh, I don't know, he's had a moment. Senna's had it off, I believe, and Morgan's up into 4th place there. We missed that completely. Senna must have the moment on the curb, had a half spin, and now Morgan's up to 4th place, and he's got a 1.4 second gap to close on Mertz to maybe get a podium, and Senna is really struggling, and now Arnold will be fancy no take on the Mercedes man. A shame for Senna, because he's having a cracking race and looking good for 4th place before that mistake.
He even said to me, before the start of the race, he DM'd me, he said, "Don't expect me to get a good result tonight, Jess. I'm struggling at this setup," or whatever. So he's changed a new one. Well, to be fair, he's not doing too bad. So
5th will still be a good result for him. It won't be 10 points, not to be good to shake that. So yeah, still have a good result there, but shame for him there. Alex sets fast lap on the hard tyres. That shows you how much pace he had on hand doing the fast lap this late into a stint, and now he's looking in command of this race. 2-second lead, and Craggy second is still a good result for Craggy, but yeah, that race win has gone now, and Alex is looking really good for it now, and the gap between Mert and Morgan is getting close. It's at 5.4 seconds, so Mert should be alright. So you've got Senna and Arnold fighting. They're going side by side. Arnold, I think they both have DRS. That's a problem for Arnold here. They both have DRS, I believe. Yes, they do. Arnold sent it inside here. We've seen a few moves on the outside tonight, but Senna is defending well, and now, but he just seems to be struggling for grip at the moment. I believe Senna has just lost a lot of grip, probably due to that off he had around here last lap.
And he's been on those hard tyres for 12 laps, same with Mertz. So I think probably they probably were on the hards for a little bit longer, but maybe that give or take. I think the setup, the tyre pressures might not have helped him there, but still P5 will be very good. Jayco on those softs, he's doing quite decently, but he seems to be struggling now on the back of Marco and Lakitu. So yeah, he's got a lot of work to do there, but we're about to start the final lap of this race, and unless Alex bottles it, it looks like Alex will be picking up another win of the season and a chance to close up to Kevin in the championship.
Yeah, he's got 2 warnings per area, so he shouldn't be anywhere close near track limits at the moment. Should be a comfortable drive for him. 2.5 seconds. I say a nice battle with Craggy for a lot of the race, but I believe Alex had more pace in hand because he was saving battery there. I believe if Craggy did get by, I believe Alex would have been able to repass easily there. So yeah, obviously now the mediums have gone off now for Craggy, but still second place, still over 10 seconds ahead of third. It's still been a great result for him, but yeah, Alex a fantastic win. He's had a few. Yeah, Arnold Senna up into 5th place, still banging wheels, these two ERT stablemates, and they have going banging wheels here. Senna will have DRS. Arnold's not giving much room, just enough room there up the hill into turn 3. Will Senna get his move done around the inside? Yes, he does. Can Arnold fight back? He'll fight back in these corners, but I believe Senna should have the better exit. They're so close to touching. There was wheel to side pod there, and Senna has managed to hang on into 5th place. Obviously, he's going to get the penalties anyway, but I believe for the prize, he'll get done on track, but he just outbreak himself there a lot there, but thankfully he does get good exit now.
Racing. Oh my god!
Yeah, Arnold ran the outside. Obviously, he's got a penalty, so he can fight for it. Yeah, up the inside here, and undercut there. He'll have DRS, and he will get through, and he should get the move done down the straight. As Alex is very nearing victory here, as these two are still fighting, and I believe Arnold is through. But Alex is coming out the final corner now, take quite a commanding race victory by 3 seconds, and well, he's put himself right back in championship contention for that win.
Yep, Alex takes the race victory on round number 7 of the championship. Craggy crosses the line in 3rd, but Mert, what a stellar performance from him. One of his best of the season. Takes his first podium in one hub. That's something to celebrate, I have to say. And Morgan getting his best result in P1 history. P4, and it's going to be Arnold that gets 5th on the road, but Senna takes it due to penalties, and Jayco Marco got close in the end, but it's Jayco that just holds on in 7th, Marco in 8th. Lakitu, unfortunately, not the race for him in 10th, with Dave jumping in on penalties in 9th, and Colin in 11th, and Curry gets the final point in 12th. I'm not sure if Clark got fastest lap. I don't think so.
I think he did. Yeah, he did. He said it earlier. No one beat him, so yeah, he got fast lap there on his 3-stop strategy. And I believe he also got 12th place cross line as well there, so a point and a fast lap. So congratulations to him, and well done to Dave on his first points. But more important than that, well done to Alex on a fantastic race win tonight. And look, he's doing some interesting celebration on the podium. His avatar there, but he can enjoy it. And yeah, another win for the Haas man. And yeah, he's hauled himself right back at the top, right near the top as well. And obviously Kevin should be back next week, but Kevin on the one hand will be thankful that Marco had a bad race, but he won't be too happy that Alex was the guy who pulled off the race win tonight.
Yeah, I think there was quite a lot of drivers that had very good performance. It's going to be hard to pick driver of the day because we can only pick 2, but let's run through your results. So we've got Alex from Craggy, from Mert, Morgan, Senna, Arnold, Jayco, Marco, Dave, Lakitu, Colin and Curry in P12. And Clark gets fastest lap point outside the top 10, and Alex gets the fastest lap point inside the top 10. I don't usually go first in terms of sim racing setup driver of the day, but I'm going to do so because I'm worried you might nick my my driver of the day. So I'm going to go with someone who there was a few times where he was struggling to fit in the P1 tier, but tonight he's shown he's had the pace and he was able to capitalise. So I'm gonna have to go for Morgan. Brilliant result. Yes, he did get a podium, but P4 in the P1 tier is something that he should be very proud of, considering the high caliber drivers in this tier. So my question is, well done on your best result in the P1 tier to date. Do you think you were expecting it heading into Bahrain tonight? Jamie, what about you? Who's your sim racing setups driver of the day? And you're on mute, by the way, if you're trying to speak, or is Discord trying to playing buggers again.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to go with a guy who's won back-to-back races, Alex. And obviously he's now home back in championship contention with a winner fast lap. That means he has pulled the gap to 6 points now to Kevin. He actually moved in second place, won championship as well. So they're good results for him. I'm going to say well done. Back-to-back wins after them difficult 3 races mid-season. Do you think now, with you being 6 points back, you can fight for the championship? Now, Kevin will be back next week.
Good question. Good question. Of course, the drivers will be able to vote in the poll that goes up later on as well. And to be honest, 2 really deserving nominations. But next week, of course, we head to Saudi Arabia, a very technical circuit, high-speed circuit as well. I think we could see quite a few drivers gambling for the low wings. We haven't raced much in Jeddah in one hub, and I could tell why, because it is a very tricky circuit that provides quite a lot of action there in this tier.
No, but last time raced there, I believe was on the last game, on season 26, it did actually rain for the majority of that race. So we have had rain in Saudi Arabia in the past as well, and obviously there could be a chance we could get it again next week, but I don't think the drivers won't rain around that track because it's hard enough in the dry, never mind the wet. But anyway,
let's hope it doesn't rain then.
A bit, we could have an exciting one, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And not so much driving, but commentating, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good race. Hopefully a few drivers back as well a bit. But for 14 drivers, the race is pretty good anyway. You can't complain too much because there's plenty of entertainment. There's battles all the way down the field. And guys got best results. Obviously we got Mark, obviously we got Craggy got second place, his best result this season. We got Mert, who got his first podium. We got Morgan, got his best result this season. You know, we got Jake had a good result. We got Dave, who got his first points. So yeah, despite the low numbers, I had a good race as well. So despite the low numbers, we still had a great race tonight.
I think Mert was a close second for me in terms of me getting my sim racing setup driver of the day nomination, but I always have to go for someone outside the box, like when I had first pick. So there we go. That's where I've gone for. So, yes, that's what you can expect next week in Jeddah. You can catch us at 7:30 for the P1, hopefully on time next week, because hopefully I won't be doing double duty again because I've done that for the past few races. But we would like to thank our sponsors for one final time, Delta.app, Sim Racing Setup, Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, Vespertine, and finally, SimGrid. So, the star of the show belongs to Alex. Will he be able to close the gap to Kevin next week again? We're going to have to find out. Make sure you join us same time, same place for P1. You could catch all the other tiers with P4 starting at 3 o'clock, all the way to P2 starting at 6 p.m. before us, of course, at 7:30. So thank you for listening. For myself and Jamie, take care, everybody. Have a nice week, and we will see you on Sunday for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Take care. Bye-bye.
Right.